So we're sitting in our chair and we're just slouching down. So the first thing we have to find is sitting mountain. So this is the first thing we educate people in. And if it's possible to sit without support for the shoulder blades, I suggest coming right to the front of your chair. Now, for me, there's this lovely space between the crease of the buttock and the curve of the hamstring or the back of the thigh, where I can sit quite comfortably and I can feel my sitting bones on the chair, and the chair's not pulling into me. I can feel my hamstrings falling away from the chair, and I can also feel my pubic bone at the front of the chair. So I can feel this kind of tripod of stability under my bottom. If you can't feel that, you might want to just take one hand at a time and either sit on it. We can sit on it, and really the more you put weight on that hand, the more you can feel that sitting bone, or just draw the buttock back a little bit so that you can really feel that connection between the sitting bones. And if we're on the front edge of the sitting bone towards the front of the bony ridge that we can feel, then generally speaking, our pelvis will be in neutral, which means that our spine can lift. And so that's what we find first. And so you're wriggling around, and you can also find this if you have to sit back on your chair, that's fine. You'll lift up so that your shoulder blades are kind of sliding up the back of your chair. And you can even do this if you're sitting by a wall, place the back of your head, the shoulder blades by the wall, and just kind of inch the back of your head up the wall, the back of your shoulders up the wall, open the chest, and then slide your shoulders back down the wall. So we've made this length in the body. And we're going to always hinge from the hips. Remember, we're going to be very careful with the lumbar spine with people in chairs, long-term chairs, because of the compression of the spinal discs. So we're going to practice hip hinging. So it's a good chance to practice now. So I'm going to put my feet, a little distance between my feet. I want my heels underneath my knees and my knees level with my hip bones here or slightly below them. And if I hinge down, hinge forward, kind of creasing at the top of the thigh, then I can see my feet more accurately. I can check that I've got about 2 fists between the knees, feet parallel and the heels under the knees. And then I can hinge back and find that stability on the sitting bones again. I'm going to spread my toes. I'm going to think about 4 press points that are rooting down through the feet. And that's the outside of the heel, the inside of the heel, the big toe pad. So that's the ball of the big toe and the ball of the little toe. So I'm going to close my eyes and see if I can contact those 4 spaces. 2 points at the back of the foot, 2 points at the front of the foot, outside and inside. Press them down. Now, as I press my feet down, I'm going to have a feel of my thighs, and I can feel that they're activating a little bit. And that's what I want during this class. I want to feel that my feet, or at least one of my feet, is constantly anchored. By pressing down, I'm activating the thighs, and I'm enabling this lift up. So the more I press down, the more I can lift up. I'm going to lift my sternum again. I'm going to widen my collarbones. I'm going to slide my shoulders up, back and down. And then finally, just to adjust my head so that it's on top of my pelvis, I'm going to bring my chin back a little bit, or my throat back. I'm going to imagine sliding the back of my head up a wall, and I'm going to imagine the crown of the head opening up directly above this triangle that I've made in the pelvis. And that's sitting mountain. And I invite you to place one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest. And if you want to find a point in front of you on the floor to gaze at, or you can close your eyes so that you can really take your awareness in. And if you can close your mouth and breathe through your nose, that's great. If not, you can have a slight space between the lips. If you're able to breathe through your nose, then you're going to be clearing congestion through the nasal passages. You're going to be warming and filtering the breath. And with your hand on your belly and your hand on your chest, I want you to just feel the just gentle pressing of the body towards the hands as you breathe in, as the belly expands and the chest expands, just feeling that gentle pressing of the body into the hands as you breathe in, and as you breathe out, that gentle kind of recoil, the body moving away from the palms as you breathe out. And if you can't feel that, don't worry. You can just concentrate on the body in the hands as you breathe in and the body in the hands as you breathe out. And you might feel it as two separate parts of the breath. Maybe as you breathe in first, you feel the belly in the hand, then you feel the chest in the hand. And as you breathe out, maybe you feel them separately again, either belly then chest or chest then belly, doesn't matter. Or maybe you can't feel the differentiation and you can just feel this overall expansion with the inhale and contraction with the exhale. Or maybe again, you're just concentrating on that sensation between the hands and the body. I want you to feel into the wave of the breath, imagining the waves of the shoreline coming in and out of the shoreline. Remembering your stable base, feet pressing into the floor, sternum lifting, thighs activating, and always open your eyes again if you've had them closed and you're feeling a little bit like a rocking boat with all this wave motion. You can always anchor yourself by opening your eyes and finding something to gaze at. And if this breathing pattern is quite simple and easy to you, you can add some resistance. So as you breathe in and the belly's expanding into the hands, you can press the hands and kind of resist, add some resistance. And then as you're breathing out and the belly is sinking behind the hands, you can press a little bit with the hands and again, help that movement. So breathing in and pressing the belly into the hands and breathing out, pressing the body with the hands. And then bring your hands to your thighs, press your hands down on your thighs and just giving yourself that anchor, pressing the feet down, the hands down, feeling your sturdy base. See if the more you press down with your feet and your hands, the more freedom you have to feel the breath coming in and out as it was when your hands were there. But maybe you feel even more expansion now because the hands aren't there and there's no resistance. Or maybe it's harder without the hands there and you're having to really dig deep and kind of remember how it felt. Very nice. And then we'll move into a little bit of movement. So what I'm going to get you to do with your hands on your thighs like this, I'm going to get you to keep pressing your feet into the floor. I'm going to slide your hands back towards your hips. As you hinge forward just a touch, move the elbows back just a touch. Now squeeze the elbows in towards the back. Open the collarbones and start to squeeze the shoulder blades in towards each other. Lift the chest and just look up towards the ceiling where the ceiling and the wall meet. And you're hinging forward just slightly. So the weight is now pressing down into your feet and into the pubic bone at the front of the chair. And then inhale deeply. Really feel that stretch across the chest. And as you exhale, slide your hands down towards your knees, lengthen out your arms, feel like you're separating the shoulder blades, sink back into your chair like you're going to slouch and just glance down at your pubic bone. And just imagine your pubic bone coming up to meet your chin. And now as you inhale, start to drag the hands up the thighs towards the hips. Start to bring the elbows back, squeeze the shoulder blades, open the collarbones, tip forward on the pubic bone and look to the seam of the wall and ceiling. And as you exhale, pressing on the feet, slide the hands forward, stretch open the back of the chest and tip the pubic bone towards the chin. Let's do a few more of those. Inhaling, nice and slowly. You can add more breath if it's too slow. You can slow the movement down even more if it's too fast. Think about your feet giving you an anchor for this whole thing. So the whole time you can feel that activation in your thighs. You can feel how strong your thighs are as you slide your hands forward and back. And then think that that activation in the feet gives your whole pelvis this ability to slide and glide and roll forwards and backwards. And then you're thinking about squeezing in and opening out the shoulder blades behind your heart. The neck does a little bit of work, but not too much. And then come back to halfway. So my hands are dragged halfway. I've got my position on that triangle, pubic bone and sitting bones. I can press my thighs down, lift my chest, roll my shoulders up and back and down, bring my throat back. I'm back in sitting mountain, really balanced. I've still got a little bit of gentle activation in my thighs, but not exaggerated. So now we've done flexion extension. Let's do some side bending. So we can bring the hands down by the sides. Now we haven't got the hands to help us. We're going to use the feet really, really strongly as we move the weight from side to side. So it's important that we use the feet. Don't go too far one side or the other. We can exhale. As I reach down to my right, I'm going to press my right foot down in resistance. And then as I inhale, I'm going to come back to center. As I exhale, I'm going to reach down to the other side, pressing the foot down, and then inhale back to center. So we don't have to go very far. And as I press my foot down, I'm really anchoring my pelvis. So there's no tipping, there's no coming out of the chair. I can do this with my hands in prayer position if I wanted to. And the more high I bring my arms, the more I'm going to bring the stretch up to the upper body. So maybe if I had my hands on my head and took my elbows back, I can also feel that stretch activating up into the upper ribs, into the armpit area. And I could also take my arms up and do this, maybe dropping one hand down as I reach over, inhaling arms up to the sky, exhaling, reaching over, inhaling up. So choosing whichever felt the best. It depends on you. Where do you need your activation? Maybe you're working on really getting your legs strong, and the more you add your upper body, you lose that. So maybe I want to really stay low. Just a few more, and then back to sitting mountain. Deep breath, activate the feet, 4 press points, space between the knees and hips level. Sitting bones grounded, collarbones broad, throat back. Nice deep breath. And then a little bit of gentle twisting. So I'm going to slide one hand down to the knee and the other side, the other hand up to my hip. And then I'm going to come back to center. So I exhale and go to the other side. Hand comes back to hip, hand goes to the knee, inhale to center. Nice and slowly twisting. I'm thinking about the rib cage, really doing the most amount of work. I'm going to keep my chin level with my sternum. And I'm going to try and think about the whole of the rib cage, just kind of stretching away from the pelvis. And I can do this with my hands on my chest, which gives me less feedback. I might go less far, but I'm really concentrating on this whole unit. Hands, arms, rib cage, twisting side to side. We don't want to over twist. It's not a competition. Maybe if you're sitting next to someone, you twist to them and give a little bow of the head. Hello. Maybe you go to the other side. I'm bowing to my cat here now. She's on the sofa looking at me, thinking, what's going on? You can also take one hand towards the back of the chair, one hand to the opposite knee. Could stay for a few breaths. And then you can come back through center to the other side. I'd still have my hands down here, quite nice. Back to center. And then I could also do it taking my arms up, inhale, and as I exhale, take one hand down and back, one hand forward and down. Inhale, take my arms up. And exhale. So I'm doing this windmill action of the hands. This can be as high as is permitted with your shoulders. Whatever feels good. And then if you're doing that, finish with the hands up to the sky, onto the chest, or in central position. Exhale, bring your hands down if they're up. And then we'll move to our sun salutations, a very simple sun salutation, which is a flow of 12 postures. We're going to make it super simple. We're going to inhale deeply. And as we exhale, we'll bring the hands together. Then we'll inhale, stretch up as much as you want to. And as you exhale, take your arms out and down. Bring them to your thighs, hinge forward, slide your hands down. They don't have to go down very far. And as you inhale, slide them back up onto the thighs and reach the chest up. Squeeze the shoulder blades back. And then as you exhale, sit up and squeeze your right knee into your thigh, left foot pressing down. Then release that and inhale, do your back arching. As you exhale, do your angry cat, flexing the spine. As you inhale, come back to that cow, open the spine. As you exhale, right foot presses on the floor, left knee squeezes in. As you inhale, left foot comes down. Inhale, the arms up, press the feet down. And exhale, hands come down. Inhale, Tadasana. Exhale, hands in prayer. Let's do it again. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, press on the feet, arms wide. They come to your thighs, slide down. So we're hinging from the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Lift the chest, squeeze. And then exhale, come back up and squeeze in the right knee. Inhale, right foot comes back. You're in your cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, press the right foot down, squeeze the left foot in. Inhale, left foot down, both arms up, reach up. Exhale, bring your hands down. And then close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Come back to sitting mountain. You can keep your eyes open if you need to for balance. And you can close your eyes if it's comfortable to go inwards. And feeling that gentle activation now becoming maybe a bit more familiar, a bit more natural, a bit more switched on without you having to think about it. Feeling those full press points in the feet, maybe becoming much more natural. Feeling that difference between pushing the feet down and the sternum rising, just naturally, this two forces going down to come up, and this enabling you to open up the chest, slide the shoulder blades down and take the chin back. And then relaxing into all that. So at first it's such an effort to make all these arrangements. And then it becomes this effortless space where I can let go of some of the activation. And to replace that, I can feel the breath coming in and out. So now I can come back to that breath, the wave-like of the breath. But I can imagine that I'm pulling that breath in through the soles of the feet, all the way to the crown of the head as I breathe in. And I can take it back down from the crown of the head, all the way down to the soles of the feet as I breathe out. Coming back to that wave-like flow of the breath. Before we were doing the belly and chest expanding, and this is still happening, but now I'm adding on this whole body space, inhaling as it comes up and exhaling as the breath comes down. So you're imagining your whole body as this channel. And this breath is like a little passageway for prana or life force to travel through you. Okay, let's do our 4 balancing poses now. And so we're going to make a flow of them. We're going to do 4 balancing poses. The first one is the tree pose. The second one is stick, which is not called stick in normal yoga. The third one is dance, and the fourth one is eagle. Anyway, we start in sitting mountain, and we're going to have 3 options for lower body and upper body for each of those. And we'll start with the tree pose. So the first option in your lower body for tree pose is to bring your, let's say that we're going to balance on our right leg. So the right foot stays where it is, and that is in sitting mountain. Right foot stays in sitting mountain. First option for left foot is to bring the left foot towards the right, turn the sole of the left foot out to the side, and take the knee of the left leg out to the side. And I'm not mirroring you, so I have no idea what it looks like to you, but my right leg is pressing down, my left leg is out, option 1. Option 2 is to cross that left leg over the front, and that just opens out that hip a little bit, and it adds a tiny bit of lift. And option 3 is to bring that foot up. Now, that's quite a big difference. You could always have a cushion or a cat or a dog to rest on if you wanted to have somewhere between those 2 options. but I've crossed my ankle over my knee. I'm going to go for option 3 personally. That feels good for me. Please do what feels good for you. And then let's set up the arms. So option 1, hands over the heart. Option 2, hands over the third eye. Option 3, palms of the hands on top of the head. Now I choose my option. I'm going to go for option 1 with my hands. That feels really nice, and I can concentrate on what's going on with the legs. So once you've chosen your options, press that right foot down. Feel the same activation of sitting mountain. As the right foot presses down, the sternum lifts up, my throat can come back, and I can really imagine that I'm balancing a block on top of my head and trying to push the block up to the sky. I'm going to take a really deep couple of breaths through the nose if I can. Maybe I can feel that belly and chest activation. I can look forward at a point in front of me as if I'm a ballerina who needs to keep their focus really still. And then I'm going to bring my hands out of the options, bring them back down. Then I'm going to bring my leg. Now, if it's up top, I might have to help it, because if it suddenly comes off, it might hit the floor with quite a big gust. And actually, I'm going to take the back of my thigh now. So if this is not comfortable for you, you can grab a strap or a sock. And I'm going to practice the stick pose now. So maybe option 1 is my toes are on the floor and I might be hinging forward then. Otherwise, I would be really hunching over. I want to hinge forward, toes on the floor, hands behind the leg, or maybe I've got my trousers there. Option 1. Option 2, lifting that up, rolling the shoulders back. Option 3, stretching that leg out. So choose your option, sit up nice and tall, Tadasana with the right leg, press down to lift up, balance that block on top of your head, eyes forward, a few deep breaths, see if you can feel that wave through the body. See if you can at least breathe in through the nose. The more we use the nose, the more the nose clears. And then very gently hinging forward. So as I hinge, I'm pressing that right foot down so that I can find the floor with my toes. And then I'm going to keep those toes there. I'm going to open the knee out to the side a little bit and take my foot back. Now I'm going to find the edge of the chair with my inner ankle, or maybe my inner calf muscle. So my right foot is still in Tadasana. I'm going to find Dancer now, but I've just opened the front of the hip a little bit, and I'm using the chair leg, pressing against the inside portion of my lower leg to stabilize. I'm also really going to concentrate on stabilizing with my right foot. So I might need to wiggle that around to find the most stable part so that I don't fall off my chair. Dancer, I've got my right foot on the floor. I'm going to take my right hand up. Could be here, could be here. And I'm then going to take my left arm back, could be on my side, could take the back of the chair. And I'm going to press forward, hinge forward with my hips and press my right foot into the floor. Okay, and then if I want to add another piece, I could just lift the sternum up and look forward. Breathe deeply. I can do this with my hand on my head, the hand behind my head, and I can push my head into my hand and reach the elbow back, reach the other arm back, press deeply into the floor with that right foot. You can feel how strong this is. Then I'm going to release my arms, bring them back to my right thigh, hinging forward. Then I'm going to slowly come up and slide that left foot back into sitting mountain. Take a deep breath in sitting mountain. And then we will eagle. So I'm going to inch my toes, my heels, and my knees together. So eagle is about squeezing everything into the midline. So first position, squeezing everything in. Heels squeeze, toes squeeze, knees squeeze. I can feel my inside leg muscles really activating. Second position, I'm going to cross my left foot over my right and still squeeze. Another option is to cross my knees and squeeze them as if they're trying to push each other open. So I'm not just crossing and letting my right knee fall in. I'm pushing my right knee out and my left knee out but they're crossed. So option 1, 2, or 3, choose your option. Sitting up nice and tall, legs are strong, everything squeezing in, arms squeezing in. Option 1, elbows and palms. I've got my left leg over my right, so option 2 is hugging with the left arm over right, and option 3 is crossing and pressing, so I'm not only squeezing in, but now I'm squeezing out as well. So like with my legs, I've crossed them, they're squeezing in, but they're pushing against each other to be released. I'm going to press that right foot into the ground, lift my sternum up, inhale deeply. And as I exhale, I'm going to hinge forward just a touch, pressing that right foot into the floor to resist my weight moving forward. Then I'm going to inhale, pressing that right foot, coming up to sitting. Exhale, release the arms. And then inhale, cactus the arms, take them out. And exhale, bring the hands back down. And bring the legs back down and squeeze them in tight again. We'll go straight to the other side. So set up your options here for the other side, and they might be different. We have option 1, everything squeezing together. Option 2, right foot crossing over left, squeeze the knees. Option 3, cross the knees. They're squeezing in, but they're also trying to resist out. Good, press the left foot, find that activation in the left foot, that's your anchor. Arms squeezing in. I've got my right leg over my left, so I could hug right arm over left. Or I could squeeze, I'm crossing, but I'm squeezing out. My legs and my arms are trying to escape. But you can choose whichever fits you. Find that connection in the left leg, sorry. Press the left leg down, lift the sternum up, breathe in deeply. Breathing out, keep pressing that left foot as you hinge forward. Breathing in, press that left foot as you hinge back, come upright. Breathing out, release the arms. Breathing in, cactus the arms. Breathing out, bring the arms down. And then release. And find sitting mountain. Once again, might be getting more and more familiar. 4 press points. Thighs active, sternum lifting, rolling the shoulders up, back and down, releasing the neck. And we're going to lift up the toes of the right leg, take the foot out a little bit, and then find the side of the chair, either with your inner ankle or some point up your inner calf. And then find your anchor with your left foot, because we're going to be hinging forward. You might have to wriggle that left foot around to find where you can press against the floor, leaning forwards and backwards without falling off your chair. Find your position with your left hand, chest, back of the head, top of the head, up. I'm going to go chest this time. Right hand is going to reach back, so it might just stay by your side or reach back. Pressing the left foot into the floor, hinge forward. Once you've hinged forward, try to lift the chest up. So you're still hinging forward in the hips, but opening the chest. Reach the arm back as much as you want. Reach the chest up as much as you want. Remember, you can be stretching your head back into your hand and opening your elbow. That's quite a nice one. Or you can be up in the dancer. And then we're going to release the arms onto the thigh in our hinged position. Press the foot into the floor, come up very gently, bring that leg back, but keep the toes on the floor and take hold of underneath. So we're going to go into our stick now. So coming back to sitting mountain with the left leg. Option 1, hinging forward. Option 2, balancing on the sitting bones, lifting the foot up. Option 3, just stretch that leg as much as you want. Rolling the shoulder blades back and down, breathing deeply. See if you can find sitting mountain with everything else apart from your right leg. Very gently, we're going to bend the leg if it was straight, hinge forward, find the floor with the toes, and then find sitting mountain. Deep breath in sitting mountain. This is coming back all the time. And then we're going to find tree pose. So the first position is that I turn my right knee out and the right sole is facing the left side. So the little toe of the right leg is on the floor. Second position, or different option, they're all different options, crossing the foot. Or you can try crossing at the knee. Whatever feels good. I'm going to cross at the foot this time. Quite fun to try new things. Sitting mountain with the left leg, really pressing down. Options for the hands, on the heart, third eye, top of the head. Or you can invent your own option, why not? Show me something creative. Or stay with what you know, that's also good. Everything helps. Really, we're concentrating on that left foot, really strongly pressing down. Everything's coming from this leg. Left foot pressing down enables me to lift my chest, to center my head, to look forward at that point in front of me like a ballerina, to feel my arms up, maybe weightlessly, instead of a struggle against gravity. The more I push my foot down, the more effortless it is to lift up. And then let's come out, come back to sitting mountain. Close the eyes if you want to, if it helps you go inside. Just briefly with your mind, trace through all the corrections for sitting mountain, or all the points of awareness. Also feel the heart beating and the space you've made and the strength you've created. And this time, in between our sequences, I want you to come to a center point in your heart space with your awareness, thinking about the rib cage. So now as you breathe in, I want you to imagine this expansion of your rib cage in all directions, front to back, side to side, top to bottom, as if it's this kind of balloon at the center of your chest that is expanding as you inhale. And like when you exhale, it's like when you pull the air out of a balloon really slowly and it goes, you're doing that, but without that annoying sound. So now our awareness is in that expansion of the balloon inside the chest. And that effortless stability of the lower legs now that we've created, that we can really just sit that rib cage on top of the pelvis. And we can feel into the multi-directionality of that breath coming in and out. Again, you can open your eyes if that helps you stabilize. Just fix your gaze on one point, so there's not so much chatter that your brain has to translate from what you can see. Feet now anchoring so effortlessly. We're ready to be warriors for a moment. So let that breathing practice go. Lift up your heels and just tiptoe round to the right side of your chair. We're going to find sitting mountain with the right leg. And with the left leg, we're going to go to either V-shaped legs, which would just be taking my leg out a little bit. Any amount is great. And that any amount can become L-shaped legs, which would be kind of 90 degrees. So I'm in sitting mountain with my right leg and I've opened my left leg out. So I'm facing the right. And I'm going to, even though I've opened my left leg out to the left, I'm going to see if I can turn my rib cage back towards that right leg, because I want to be facing the right for the first one. We'll go from warrior one. So I've set up my legs in warrior one. My right leg is the anchor. So maybe I'm going to press down on that right leg a little bit more. And with that pressing down of the right leg, I can lift my left ribs up and bring them around to the right, just that little bit more. Warrior one, I can take hands over the heart. I can take hands on the head. I can take hands up to the sky. Pressing down deeply with my right leg. Again, right leg pressing down, left ribs turning towards the right. Inhaling deeply. As I exhale, I'm going to turn my whole rib cage towards the front side of my chair. And at the same time, I'm going to open my arms out. So now my upper body is facing the front of my chair, while my right leg is still anchoring me at the side. Warrior two, I can look down my right arm, I only have one. I can also soften. Maybe it's too much to have my arms up. Maybe I do this whole series with my hands on my heart. My sternum is facing the front. My head and my right leg are facing the right. And then I can go into reverse warrior. Turn my right palm up, drop my left hand to the chair, reach my right arm up, maybe reach my left arm down. But I don't want to tip the balance too much here, but I can use the left foot as stability. Back to warrior two. And then I can go into side ankle, dropping my forearm down, send my left arm forward and across, and then reaching it up. And I can look towards the front. So I'm just opening up that left side now. Back to warrior two. And then I'm going to move back to warrior one. So this time I'm going to just bring my hands to my heart as I reach my sternum towards the right. And then I'm going to release, come back to sitting mountain with my heels up. I'm going to tiptoe round to the front, bring my heels down, a breath in sitting mountain. And then lift my heels up, tiptoe round, tiptoe, 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 and find L shape or V shape or L shaped legs. Shift around. Remember the left leg is the anchor. So I'm going to turn to face my left leg and I'm going to find warrior one. So here's my warrior one, my hands on my heart, pressing into my left leg, lifting my heart. You might have your hands on your head. You might have your arms up. Breathe deeply, look forward, lift the chest, press the foot down. Sternum facing the left leg. Breathe in deeply, and as you breathe out, turn your rib cage to the front, pressing on your left foot still. You can open your arms out if you want to. I'm now in warrior two. I can look down at my left fingertips, pointing the same direction as my left leg. I can do a reverse warrior, turn the left palm up, send the right palm down. Shift your weight onto the right foot now. Back to warrior two. Resting forearm down into side angle. Reaching that arm up and over. We don't need to look up. That's another overstretch for the neck. Back to warrior two. Back to warrior one. Back into sitting mountain with the heels up. Just close the hips there. Tiptoe forward. Find sitting mountain. Don't worry if you have to shift around to find sitting mountain. It's really good practice to shift around until you feel comfortable. Now you might want a little bit of cat-cow movement now, just to loosen up the spine. Feel how good that becomes. Remember, I'm inhaling as I take my elbows back, squeezing my shoulders, opening my chest, tipping forward. And I'm exhaling as I stretch open the back of my heart, tipping my chin forward. Back to sitting mountain, closing the eyes if that's comfortable, feeling all of those different aspects of sitting mountain now, as even more effortlessly. So now I find that I'm not really having to concentrate on those 4 press points. They're doing it themselves. Now all I have to do is think. Big toe pad, little toe pad, inner ankle, left, outer ankle, and they're all there. I'm not having to do anything. Feet pressing into the floor. I'm not pressing, but my thighs are active already. I'm not having to press the pubic bone down to lift the sternum. It's just there. I'm not having to actively open the collarbones. They're just open. I'm bringing my throat and chin back in line. I can feel the passageway open at the back of the neck where normally it would be congested. So now here's a challenge for you. Can you breathe in all those ways at once that we've been doing? So remember, the first one was belly and chest. The second one was toes to head. And the third one was expansion like a balloon. Here's a challenge. And it's no biggie if you have to just settle with one or two. Or if it's all too much, you just need to think, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. Just see what happens when you breathe in now in this super mountain, let's call it. And if you want that fun challenge, only if it's comfortable and not stressful, you could see how it feels to breathe in from the toes to the head, the belly expanding, the chest expanding, and then 3D expansion of the rib cage. And breathing out, head to toes, belly and chest in, and that deflation of the balloon in slow motion. Add some resistance if you want to. That would mean just slowing the breath down actively, just thinking, I'm going to breathe slower. And I want you to feel like you're becoming this ball of energy and light. Okay. Last breath like that, and then we're going to finish with our big moon sun salutation flow. So now we've been flowing for a bit. It should come a bit more naturally. I'm going to take V-shape or L-shaped legs facing the front, and I'm just going to make myself a bit more comfy. I'm actually going to grab a cushion because my chair is a little bit hard. Do feel free to get yourself comfort when you need it. So I've got my wide stance. So moon salutation is like opening, side bending. It's really creating this space. And it just flows through a few postures, and you can make it your own. You know, we'll do it my way today just because I'm here, but when you do it at home on your own, just do it however you want. So let's start by inhaling deeply, press the feet into the floor, exhale and find sitting mountain, wide leg. So take a few breaths and see if you can find all of that stability, feet, hips, chest. Deep breath in, and then as you breathe out, bring your hands to prayer. Now breathing in, I'm going to interlink the fingers and stretch them up to the sky. And breathing out, I'm going to just side bend to the left. Breathe in back to the sky. And breathe out, pull down into a cactus. Now still leaning back, I'm going to inhale, stretch my arms out. And as I exhale, I'm going to side bend into a triangle to the left, going left again. Inhale, back up to stretch out. Exhale, hands together. Let's do all that on the right side. Interlink the fingers. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, over to the right. Inhale, up. Exhale, cactus, like you're really moving through something really tricky. Inhale, open. Exhale, triangle, right side. Inhale, back up. Exhale, palms. Okay, let's go again and we'll add on. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, left side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, open wide. And then exhale, triangle. Inhale, open wide. Exhale, hands together. Good. Now inhale, turn your body to the left, interlink the fingers, and as you exhale, press down, hinge forward, and as you inhale, pressing on that left foot, reach up, and then exhale, bring the hands back down. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist around, interlink the fingers, press down. Press the right foot down, and as you inhale, reach up, and exhale, bring the hands back into prayer, into center. Now we go back the way we came. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, triangle, right side. Now as you come up, bring your both hands up. Inhale, and you exhale, cactus. Then you inhale, reach up, interlink the fingers, and you exhale, right side bend. And you inhale up. And you exhale down. Inhale, sitting mountain. And let's do it again. Exhale, hands together. Let's go the other side this way. Interlink the fingers. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, right side bend. Inhale, reach up. And then it's cactus as you exhale. Open as you inhale. Triangle right as you exhale. Inhale back. And exhale, palms together. Turn to the right, inhale. Exhale, reach down, forward, press on the right leg and reach up as you inhale. And exhale, hands together, facing the front. Inhale, turn to the left, and we do that again. Exhale, reach forward, press on the left foot. Inhale, reach up. As we exhale, we come back to center, and then we inhale out. Exhale, triangle. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, reach up, interlink the fingers. Exhale, left side bend. Inhale, reach. Exhale, down. Very nice. Bring the hands onto the thighs. Close the eyes if you feel secure enough to do. Now feel that your sitting mountain has expanded in all directions. I've become bigger, more powerful, more stable, more secure, but bigger. I'm taking up more space in front of me. I'm taking up more space behind me. I'm taking up more space side to side. Feel the quality of the breath. How is it now? Am I naturally taking in more breath, letting more breath out? And it doesn't matter if the answer is no. Just notice what's changed. Now open your eyes, gaze down at the floor and come back to sitting mountain. Space between the knees. A couple more deep breaths here. Now I've come back to the confines of my body. I've stopped expanding, but I'm still just as big. I can feel the imprint that my body's left all around me, side to side, behind me, up, beyond my crown, below my legs, way out in front of me, way behind me, out beyond the confines of my body. My prana is hanging around, buzzing all around me. So now I invite you to take a comfortable sitting mountain. So this for me would be sitting back, maybe taking a blanket, grabbing some blocks underneath my feet, maybe a bolster under my feet, so that I can sit back and take the support. So it's more restful. Now I don't have to make so much effort to sit upright. I'm not going to be slouching because I spent all my time arranging my body. But I'm going to keep those lovely shapes I've made, the space between my feet, the space between my knees. But this time I'm offering my upper back a bit of support. If I sat right next to the wall, I could offer the back of my head some support too. Back into sitting mountain for a little bit of meditation. And the meditation is going to be this effortless continuation of our breathing practice that we've been doing. But I want you to imagine the waves coming in and out of the shore. So if it's traumatic, any kind of beach or wave scene for you, then I invite you to ignore this and just simply think of the cycles of the breath coming in and out. So just think of a sphere, the breath coming in and the breath coming out. So please don't do anything that is damaging to you. But if it's a comfortable, soothing analogy, you can imagine the waves coming in and dying back. And I invite you to just practice and see what happens if you just constrict your throat a little bit when you breathe out. So maybe I'll breathe in through my nose, if at all possible. And as I breathe out, I just add some resistance in the back of the throat so that I make the sound of ujjayi, but with my mouth closed. If I can't close my mouth, I could just say, but if I can close my mouth at the same time as I breathe out, I can add this ujjayi breathing with the breath out. So I can imagine my breath coming in as a wave comes into the shore or all the way up to the top of the circle. And as I breathe out, adding that resistance. And I can release that throat restriction as I breathe in and just breathe in naturally. Just let the belly soften. And again, add resistance when I'm breathing out. And soften the throat, soften the belly, breathe in naturally. Feel that belly, welcoming that expansion, no restrictions. And then add restriction to the out breath. You can feel your belly slowly with control coming in as the throat is restricted. And then again, release and breathe in naturally. Feel the belly just so happy to welcome this freedom. And you can carry on like that a few more breaths. Let the inhale now be this very natural, free movement, no holds barred. And just adding that subtle restriction of the out breath, slowing it down a little bit maybe. And you can imagine that you're dragging that out breath, like the waves that are broken on the shore, just slowly dragging back to meet the beginning of the next wave. And the last thing I want you to add on is this space between the in-breath and the out-breath. You don't have to prolong it or lengthen it or hold your breath. I just want you to notice that one moment when your out-breath lets go and the restrictions go and the belly relaxes just before you start breathing in. And then at the top of your in-breath, just before you add your restriction in your throat and you start concentrating on your out-breath, that moment, just glimpse the moment between. Just take 3 more breaths like that. And then release everything. Release all control of the breath. And just settle into just a few moments of silence and stillness, where you're just watching the breath come in and out on its own. So before we were controlling the breath, we were practicing the control. And now we're just watching the natural ebb and flow of the breath. And we're just being this observer, like we're watching, a silent witness to the systems of the body working without our conscious control. We can consciously change things, the breath, the movements we make. But quite a lot of what's happening in our bodies is happening with or without us. It's irrelevant whether we're there or not. So we can watch the breath at work. We can maybe feel the heartbeat, maybe you can feel a pulse. Maybe you can feel sensations down different parts of your body. nerve sensations, pulsing sensations. Maybe there's strong sensations of pain in certain parts of the body, or strong sensations of pleasure at certain parts of the body. And I want you to find an in-between between controlling the breath and letting the breath do its thing. It's almost like you're going to ride the breath. Like the breath is doing its own thing, but you're going to harness its power. Like you're jumping onto the back of a very lovely horse, a wild horse, safe one. It's not going to buck you or anything. You're just going to ride the wave of the breath. When you breathe in, I want you to imagine that you're drawing in this body of bright white radiating healing light into your rib cage. And as you breathe it out, I want you to imagine the breath sending white light down to your feet. So inhaling, just riding the wave of the inhale to collect bright, white, healing, radiant light. And as you breathe out, sending it to your feet. Do it in any way that suits you. And then we'll breathe in, collect that bright, white, healing light into the rib cage, into the heart space, fill the lungs. And as you breathe out, send it down the legs. Feeling the legs and feet becoming full of bright, white, healing, radiant light. And then the next phase will be to collect it in with the inhale. And as you exhale, take it to the pelvis and the pelvic organs. Feeling the feet, the legs, the pelvis, all just becoming vessels of bright, white, radiant light. And then do the same for the abdomen, the lower back, the abdominal organs. Breathe in, collect white, healing light. Breathe out, send it to the abdomen. And then feeling that bright white light coming into the heart space, the lungs, the rib cage, now even down the shoulder blades, the arms, the lower arms, the hands, this whole upper body, upper torso, radiant with bright white healing light. Across the front, the back, the sides of the rib cage, out, down the wings of the shoulder blades, the arms, the hands. And then a few more breaths and we'll fill the neck and the throat. Breathe in and harness that bright white light into the heart space and out into the neck and the throat. And then the face. Take a few breaths to fill the face with bright, white, healing light. So you fill the space of the heart like an overflowing cup. Filling the face with radiance. And then the whole of the inside of the head. That squishy brain matter. Then the bones of the head and the scalp. Starting to feel that the whole body is radiant with bright white healing light. You can feel the body encased in a bright white light, and you can feel it full of bright white light. And you can feel that there's a glow around you, like a ready brick glow of bright white healing light. And you can rest deeply into this protective white healing glow. The last few moments of this chair yoga session. Fill your cup up. And then very gently starting to just move your hands over your thighs, giving them a little massage or just sliding them down and up. And looking down, I invite you to open your eyes. And if you hinge forward, you can massage over the knees a little bit, maybe making circles over the kneecaps, maybe down the shins and up the calves a little bit. Move to the belly, coming up the right side and down the left. One palm over the other. Coming up onto the chest and going the other way, up the left and down the right. Bring my hands onto the lower back and doing opposite circles with your hands, just circling out to the hips and into the sacrum. And then down the outside of the arm, up the inside. And the other side. Over the head. Over the throat. And then the face. Maybe fingers around the eye sockets. And then a big stretch and a yawn, and you're ready to go. Thank you for your presence. I will